Hello. Today we're looking at solving equations by clearing fractions. And I have been talking in class about how I'm making you suffer through dealing with fractions, and then I'm going to show you a way to do it that makes it a little easier. But I'm going to start with a very simple example that you did back when you first started solving equations, and this reads x divided by 4 equals 3. So we know we can undo this division by 4 by multiplying by 4. So I'm going to put a parenthesis and multiply by 4 here, and a parenthesis and multiply by 4 here. When I do that, that becomes 4 over 1. I can take 4 divided by 4 out of the numerator and denominator. So I'm left with 1x on the left. And then on the right, I'm left with, that's an equal sign, 12. And so that means, by the identity property of multiplication, that x is equal to 12. And we could check that. But what that did, when I multiplied by 4, we were able to clear this fraction. Well, the same thing can be done even if I have a complex equation, like this one here. And this time I have a denominator of 6 and a denominator of 3. So what I can do is come up with the least common denominator of these two, and I'm going to multiply it by both sides, because remember, whatever I do to one side I have to do to the other to keep it balanced, because it's an equal sign. Alright, so here my least common denominator would be 6. So that way I'm going to multiply this side, the whole thing, by 6, and so, I have to multiply this side by 6 to keep them balanced. Now we have a property when we have a number outside a parenthesis called the distributive property, where I can multiply this 6 by both terms, and let's see what happens. Remember, a term is anything that's separated by a plus sign or a minus sign, but we're going to make it minus signs, we're going to make plus and negative. So I'm going to say that 6 over 1 times 5x over 6 plus 6 times 2/3 x, or 2x over 3, would be 6 over 1 times 2x over 3. And then the right is already ready to go for us. We can go ahead and say that that's 6 times 3, which is 18. Okay, so now I'm going to take this 6 in the numerator and denominator. I'm going to divide those out. I purposely picked 6 because it'll divide out there, and I get 1s. Over in this term, I picked a 6 so I could divide out this 6, but I can also, since it's the least common denominator, I can divide out this 3 and get a 1, divide out the 3 out of the 6 and get a 2. It's okay to have a 2 left in the numerator. So now I'm going to take 1 times 5x divided by 1, which is 5x, plus, that's a 3 times 2x, which is going to be, no, that's a 2, my bad, because I divided by 3. 2 times 2x, which is 4x, over 1, which is just 4x, equals 18. I multiplied every one of these things by 3 on both sides of the equation to keep it balanced. Now I have an equation with no fractions. That's what we call clearing out the fractions. Now it's really easy. 5x plus 4x is 9x. That's equal to 18. Then I can divide both sides by 9. And 9 divided by 9 is 1x. Multiplicative identity says that's just equal to x. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And I could go back and check it. And when I check it, come over here. Whoops. I'm just going to put CK for check. I'm going to say 5 times 2 divided by 6 plus 2 times 2 divided by 3. Is that equal to 3? Got a little squish there. So that's going to be 10/6 plus 4/6. No, 4/3, my bad, 4/3. So the 4/3, I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2. So now I've got 10/6 plus 8/6, which is 18/6. 18 divided by 3 is 3. Hit check.